George, a 63-year-old Irishman raised in Dublin's foggy harbors, embarked on an unexpected journey from a lifelong Catholic past to embracing Islam. What began as a quest in retirement, sparked by a mysterious green light in a dream, led him from the dim corridors of churches to the serene courtyards of mosques. Through the Qur'an's simplicity, the humility of prayer, and whispered supplications at his cancer-stricken wife's bedside, he traded the Celtic cross for the crescent moon. Different geographies, one truth. George's story echoes a divine call, where church bells blend with the adhan, asking, "Have you found me?"
My name is George. I am 63 years old and was born on misty mornings in Dublin. My childhood is filled with days when my mother read the Bible on her knees. I knelt on the cold stones of the church during Sunday Mass. My father was a fisherman. He tried to calm the anger of the sea with prayers. "Without the grace of God, these waters will have no mercy on us," he would say. But I've always felt the lack of something deeper. Perhaps that is why, 63 years later, I found myself trembling in the courtyard of a mosque in Istanbul. With the sound of the call to prayer, it all started the summer I retired in 2018. I was filled with gratitude that my wife Mary had beaten cancer, but there was a void inside me. My prayers seemed to be stuck on the ceiling ornaments. One night, I had a dream about my father's boat. As the waves engulfed him, a green light was shining on the horizon. When I woke up in the morning, I decided to go after this light. I don't know if it was a coincidence. There was an Arabic calligraphy exhibition at the library that week. On a sign, Allah was written. The ink was embroidered on the paper as if the spirit had been blown. A young student who organized the exhibition, Mohammed, came to me. "This is writing, not just letters," he said. "Every line carries a secret of creation." At that moment, I felt a different holiness from the pictures in the church. Mohammed invited me to a small mosque in the suburbs of Dublin. The moment I stepped through the door, I got goosebumps. People were prostrating themselves on carpets. Laid on the floor, whispers were racing as if to reach the sky. For a moment, I remembered the hymn, Night of Power, that my mother used to read when I was a child. The imam turned to the congregation and smiled. "Every heart here is a guest of Allah." That evening, while having tea with Muhammad, I asked, "Why are you prostrating?" His answer changed my life, because prostration kills vanity. It reminds you of your nothingness in the face of the Creator. I have always lived in the foggy hills of Ireland with a feeling of not belonging. Maybe that's why I was fascinated by that collective humility in the mosque. The following week, Muhammad gave me a Qur'an as a gift, a copy in English. The first verse I recited was, "Say, He is one Allah, Surah Ikhlas." It seemed to contradict the concept of Trinity unity in the church, but it touched a simplicity in me. Mary said, "Are you crazy, George? Our ancestors were crusaders." He was out. But I read the stories in the Qur'an every night, the staff of Moses, the miracles of Jesus. Just like in the Celtic legends, but more systematic, one day I took out the silver Celtic cross that was my mother's legacy. "This cross represents who you are," he said, "and now I've put it in a drawer." Instead, I hung the rosaries I bought from the mosque. The turning point came in 2020. Mary's cancer has relapsed. While sitting in the hospital corridors for hours, a nurse, her name is Fatima, taught me a prayer. "Hasbunallah and Ni'mal Deputy Allah is sufficient for us." What a wonderful guardian He is. That night, holding Mary's hand, I murmured this prayer. He went into remission, the doctors said in the morning. It may have been a scientific miracle, but I I found a refuge in those words on January 6, 2021. I gave martyrdom at the Dublin Mosque. My imam's voice was trembling, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, when he said, my father's prayer before sailing came to mind. The same fear, the same hope. When I threw my first prostration, my tears mingled with the carpet. I wasn't alone anymore. Now I don't go to Sunday Mass. Arabic Fridays, I stand in the back row of the mosque as a gray-haired man who does not speak Arabic but listens to it. With his heart, Mary still wears the Celtic cross, but we don't have lard in our kitchen anymore. My neighbors ask, why did you become a Muslim? My answer is always the same, because Islam has allowed me to find myself, not just God, sometimes. When I walk on Dublin Bay, I think about my father's boat. Perhaps that green light was faith itself, a lamp that did not go out even in the storm. I still sometimes hear the church bells in my dreams. But now, I'm listening to them as two brother voices dancing to the Adhan. Because Allah has taught me, religion is not a garment that is put on the soul. It is its breathing. George O'Sullivan, Dublin, 2025.